Hello, YouTube fans, here again, and I figure why not talk about my favourite vampire films. Eventually, I'll talk about the ones well I'm not that keen on. Some I can watch as a time waster, and some I fucking think suck at the moment. Get me my favourite ones. So let's start with the rest of my tracker of films and other vampire films I like. Why not? So my next one would be the second one of Dracula's film, that being Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Now, some people don't like this one. They think it sucks, and I don't even think Christopher Lee likes it. Even I could kind of see why, because there've been a lot of rumours at the time. The Dave Christopher Lee shitty lines. He read them, thought fuck that, and he became a mute. He became a mute. He never spoke once in this film. I've got to admit, you barely see Dracula in it, and again, it's your typical revenge and all this shit. But I don't really mind this one. I can watch it as a time waster. It does have some good horror moments in it. I like the bit where Dracula gets resurrected from the dead. It kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of Elm Street 4. You know, when Freddy comes back from the dead. Those effects are not going to be that day. It's what mid-60s. But I do it. I do think it's good. I do think it's a good one. There's bits in it like he gets his dirt right. It's a bit thingy and he bites her on the neck and she turns into this sexy woman. I believe he's sadly no longer with us. May she rest. There's bits at the opening, it's those bits from the Horrors of Dracula. I get it. It's a sort of a sequel. You got Christopher Lee. Remember the ending where he's chasing Dracula and he puts the bride down and the sun dissolves him. But I don't like this one because it's like I say, it's the first time I see Christopher Lee as Dracula getting resurrected and all this. I make the endings a bit nah. They're fighting in the ice drifts away, they shoot the ice, and Dracula falls to the ice. I've got to admit, it was a good stunt. Good stunt. There's original making back in the day, behind the scenes, how they did it, where they used Christopher Lee's stunt double and all this. But I didn't mind it for what it was. It was a typical Hammer House, old school, fucking bite 'em on the neck vampire film. There's bits where I've seen Christopher Lee turning into a bat or a wolf, or bits where you don't see the reflection in the mirror. But for what it was, I didn't mind it. But there's bits where I'm interested, I will be open and honest. There's bits where I'm interested that I buy off the feel of why Christopher Lee has nothing to speak. It's the only Dracula film, the only one. People say, there's barely Christopher Lee anything to say. What's Prince of Darkness? He doesn't speak at all. But there's funnies. They dipped him lines. He thought they were shit. He became moo, or they didn't give him lines, one or the other. But I didn't mind it for what it was. Is it as good as The Honours of Dracula? No, but I still like it for what it was. My next favourite one would be Dracula Listens from the Dave. Now, this one I do like. I like the fact that it has style in it. I like the fact that it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain as I saw the movie, but you know, copyright and all this. But there's a scene in it where it goes Gene at one side, Gold on the other, this lowy sort of genie colour there, and it does it every few seconds in the film. So I thought that was pretty good when they directed that. I kind of like that. There's a bit where, like in Prince of Darkness, he gets resurrected, but the way he gets resurrected is his priest. And he cuts his forehead, and blood comes down. And it brings Dracula. There's only one fuck up in it. There's only one fuck up. Anyone that knows vampire movies know that vampires don't show their perfection. But there's a bit where he's looking and you see the perfection of Christopher Lee as Dracula. That's the only fuck up. Again, he barely speaks in it, but he does speak a little bit here, a little bit there. Again, it's typical. He's going for revenge. But there's only one bit of issue is I wish the other priest the main role in it, because this other priest was a shitbag and he helps Dracula out. It becomes Dracula's bits. And there's a bit where it didn't make sense. Like, why has it got a toss there? Why just get the priest, who is fucking out his bits, to move away the fucking toss, rather than go for his fucking dough? But I do actually like the lad in this. It's typical of most Hammer Houses. A love interest. You lung people in love. But in this, I actually liked it because the lad doesn't believe in religion. He makes a fuck up. He goes to this dairy fancies to see the uncle. And he says that he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in religion and all this, which is pretty stupid. When you think about it, you go to someone's house who's a priest. He's a priest. I think he was a priest or a bishop. one or the other. You know, he believes in religion and all this. He's a fucking priest. And you go to someone's house saying, I don't believe in religion. That's like me going to someone who's older as anything, believes the Bible in and out. Go to someone's house and saying, yeah, I believe in the devil. I do devil worshipping on the sly. Imagine me saying that. But I do actually, they died. I thought that's a bit shit, the priest dies. But I do actually like one scene in it where before he dies, he says, you've got to have faith, you've got to believe in something, you've got to believe in God and all this. And it down reminds me of what they did in Fight Night, where he uses the toss. He said, and the main vampire says, you've got to believe, you've got to have faith. That was it. You've got to have faith for that to work on me, Mr. Finson. That down reminds me of that one, and the priest says, you've got to believe in all this in order to do it. Now, I do like the bit where he gets the wooden stake and he stabs Christopher Lee, which if you look at any books to do with Hammer House or old vampire films or even Dracula, you'll know that iconic photo with the stake in the art, fake blood everywhere on Christopher Lee, he's doing that. You remember that iconic photo. But I've never heard this before. If you stake them in the one way or the guy doesn't read the blessing or you don't stab him in the heart, or you don't read the blessing, it doesn't do fucking diggity dig. So I thought that was the first I've ever heard of that. But like I say, I like the style in it. I like the fact that it goes red on one, Lenny Dean on the other, like a Deanie Curry on the other. I would sew it, but you know, copyright and all that. But I do like it for what it is. I like it. Now we get to one that people were not really keen on, and I can watch it as a time waster. Compared to the others, I don't mind it. That being Taste of the Blood of Dracula, or the Taste of fucking Dracula's ass, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really mind this one actually. Again, he gets resurrected like he does in the other ones. And you do see the ending of how it ends in Dracula Visions from the Day. But I've forgotten there. I do love the way Dracula gets killed in Dracula Visions from the Day. But he falls from that big dock off toss and it dissolves him. So I've got to admit, I do like that. I like the bit that you've got this father who's a dick. He does a lady to his daughter, who I remember playing in most of the Bond films. And I do like the story. She's got this dad, she fancies him, but the father's a fucking prick. Again, it's your revenge film, but I do actually like it. Some of the violence was a bit in your fucking face. Dracula didn't fuck around. Again, it's revenge. But there are some bits I do like. The only bit I don't fucking like, and I really fucking hate, is the ending. I've got to admit, I cannot lie, the ending sucks ass. It should be called Dracula Sucks Ass. But before that, there was an history, right? History that Christopher Lee did not want to do Taste the Blood of Dracula's Dingaling, or whatever you want to call it, right? And originally we were going to have another actor, and the actor was going to be the actor who's in the film, who resurrects Dracula, he cuts his hand, and it brings him back from the dead. He originally was going to play Dracula, and I wish he did. I wish he did, because he played, remember rightly, he played The Lust of Vampires. It could be that, it could be right, it could be wrong. He plays his nerdy character. He's a very good actor. Very fucking good actor. He played in Honours of Frankenstein. He's been down through the Hammer Houses, and a lot of people might remember him in the comedy show, Dear John. May he rest. He's no longer with us. May he rest. But he was a very, very good actor. And I've also seen what he would have brought to the role, but Hammer House obviously pitched him a bit of pay rise. They begged Christopher Lee to come back. They offered him a lot more DOS. And that must have been the only way, because Christopher Lee hated Dracula. Hated it. But he comes back, and like I say, I just think the ending of how Dracula gets killed sucks, because all he does is he smashes a window and he turns into a turtle. And somehow he just fucking dies. I don't fucking know. It doesn't even explain. You want to see it done better than windows getting smashed? What's the original Fight Night? That made sense to me. It's like, where the fuck did this shit come from? The lad gets to do, walks off, end of movie. But as a time waster, I didn't mind it. There are some bits I do like about it. Like, it doesn't fuck about in it. It does have a lot more blood. Does have a lot more violence. It was the first Hammer House, remember right, but showed a bit of nakedness. I didn't mind it. But the one I think was the last decent one, and I will be honest, the last decent one of Christopher Lee's is the Stars of Dracula. One, he actually speaks a lot more in this. He's not a fucking mute like Prince of Darkness. and he ain't going for fucking revenge. There's a bit more to it than him just going for revenge. I think it was a lot more balls. Like the bit where the vampire bats attack the women, and you see the aftershocks of what they've done. Dracula kills a woman, he stabs her to death. Which I thought was funny because she was a fucking vampire herself. You see the aftershocks of what he does to this one lad, where he sticks him on a fucking hook. It definitely was a lot more violent than the other Dracula films. It definitely had a lot more blood and gore, I meant to say. I'm not going to go over the top and say it's really bloodthirsty, but it is a good one. I think it's the one where Tita Lee's walking across the wall, which I think they did in Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. And I like it. Plus, you've got a very long Dennis Waterman. Before the Sweeney, before Minor, you do have a very long Dennis Waterman. There's a bit in it where you go to Dodger State Dracula, and I always wonder whether the ones that did Fight Night Part 2 saw this film, because it's very funny how it's very similar. I remember saying that when I did a review of this, but I didn't mind it. It was pretty good. I like the dirt in it. It looks really scared. And Patsy Troughton, Doctor Who. I'm going to forget that. I'm going to fucking forget that. He's in the film. And this really sums up Patsy Troughton's science. He's not just Doctor Who. He really plays his cheapy, perfect Doctor Die. He fancies Dennis Waterman's woman, his Earth End. That is just like pretty to look at. But come on, mate. Take it easy. Like I say, I do love the fact that he gets killed in this one. It's definitely a step up from the Blood of Dracula. Lightning comes down and he gets burnt, which I believe was a stuntman that did the scene when he falls with the fire. A good stunt for that era. I can't fault Stars of Dracula. I can't. Yeah, the bats, statistically made fun of them. You got shitty rubber backs. But compared to shitty fucking CGI, I'll go with that any day. So yeah, that was the last, I think, the last one I think was a decent one of Stars of Dracula. If I do go on about Dracula 72, it'd definitely be a rant. Same as Dracula's Pacific Rights, which I call Pacific Rim Job. Them two, I would have to be rants. They are the shittiest, the lowest of the Dracula films that Sister Lee did. No wonder after the Pacific Rights, Sister Lee said, fuck that and called it a day. I can see why. Now, this one's not a Dracula film. I'm talking about my favourite vampire films. Queens of Evil, come out in 1971. Love Queens of Evil. Real twin sisters. Not your typical two-way film. Really sexy to look at. I believe in real life they could not speak a word of English. So whoever dubbed them, I dilute them. Again, you got Peter Tussin. In this, was he really a likeable character? Not really. He's got women, he's burning them to the stake. I'm not going to go over the top and say it's bloodthirsty because you don't see it. It's, it's different era. But he's got them witches. My only issue with Queens of Evil is there's a bit where they don't have the reflection in the mirror. I'm happy to bring that in, but there's a bit where they get bit on the net and that the sun doesn't do fuck all. No sun melts them. That was my only issue, but everything else I like about that. I felt it was fast paced. I like the bit where the twin sister gets bit and she bites a woman on the tit. Definitely was different. I like the bit where Peter Tussin changes his role, he becomes a nice guy at the end, but he doesn't fuck around with his niece. Gets his niece, gets a fucking sword. There's a sword or an axe, one or the other. He just cuts a fucking head off. Never saw that coming. That was a bit of a socker. I do think it was a bit fine how Peter Tussin gets it, but I do love the bit where he gets a stake and it stabs the main villain and it dissolves him. Typical Link ending, it links and you got a skeleton. The skeleton effect looks a bit naff now, but again, for that era I went with it. And I like the acting. I like the one that the Queen sister really sets us a look at. He's evil, and the other one's nice. But I like the bit where she starts with Juicy's dad, he's holding on, he looks in the mirror, and he sees she's got no affection. A bit where she's doing that, and she's got her fucking tits hanging out, looked a bit shit. Looked a bit laughable. But I do love the bit when he folds the toss, it melts her hand, puts the toss on her hand, remember right there. Yeah, Queens of Evil, it's a good one. But until then, I'll talk about my other favourite vampire films and the ones I do on the way. Until then, be smart, be safe. See you later.